Hello, everyone. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat. All right. All right, just going to do a little stretching here. A little bit nervous today. It's been a while since I've been here. Just giving a shout out to everyone in the chat. Hello there, Timothman. Timothman? Timothman. That's what I'm going to say it. That's how I'm going to say it. All right. Hi there, Erica and Braden, of course. Nice to see you. Geraldine, Victor. Oh, so lovely to have you guys here. So I was going to start out, honestly. I was going to start out doing a little bit of light weaving real quick. So I got a song ready. I'm just going to play a little bit of it because I don't know how much it takes to like trigger the algorithm to flag it for copyright, whatever. I don't know. We're going to see. I'm going to put it on. We're going to try it. All right. So sorry if you don't like this type of music, but this is what I do every day when I go out. Because what I've been doing, this is what I've been doing. All right.
Laying in the cut though, easy. Trying to see what up though.
So what we're gonna manifest with this is money.
Y'all know how the rest go sleep. One eye open. Too smart cause I'm always scoping, watching, seeing how these lames look, lazy. This how you get your fame took, money. I got money. I got money.
Try to go a little bit slower.
Talking, always talking. That's your problem, you always talking. Rockstar, mixed with a ghetto chick. Try me, I wish a nigga would, bitch, hold up. Who gon' hold us? Not the cemetery or the penitentiary. Damn, my contemporaries, I'm too legendary. It's so money. I got money. Ooh, money. I got money. Ooh, I'm money.
Ooh.
I got money.
So yeah, that's what I do when I'm out door dashing. That's how I've been manifesting more money lately. So just manifesting some money for everyone in the chat. Okay. I also like to put a vision in my head too when I a bunch of coins and a bunch of $100 bills and stuff come my way and fill in my pocketbooks. So because the faster I make that money, the more time I have to do stuff like this. And I want to be here doing this more often. Sorry it's taken me so long to get back to y'all. It's been a crazy busy month. I kept telling myself every Friday, I'm like, I want to do my live. And then sure enough, something would come up where it was like, there's no way. There's no way I'm going to be able to do that. Starting with my car. So if you've been following me for a while, you know that I have a super badass sweet car that I love super very much called Alora. That's her name. And she's a gray Chrysler 200. Ever since I've gotten this car, I've had to take it into the shop about once a month for some unforeseen complication. Okay. Well, it turns out that I messed up. See, I went to this place called Firestone in Canton, Michigan. That was the first place I ever had to take my car because honestly, it was the closest mechanic that I could get to with what was going on with my car, which was the battery was dying. It was completely not running at all. It was starting to run out. I mean, it was like, get somewhere now because I don't know how much longer you got. And so I took it to this place and I paid to have the alternator and the battery replaced. Well, I was taking my son to school a couple weeks back, okay, after having it in and out for all these different things, a new starter, new brakes, front back brakes, a new tire rod suspension. I had to get that. New tires. At this point, I'm like, have I not just rebuilt this entire car pretty much from scratch? Jesus, Well, I was driving my son to school and the check engine light had come on. So I planned on taking it in that day. Well, I figured I can probably just get to the school and back, So I start to take off and suddenly the light goes on saying that I have no traction control. Okay. I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. But, that's fine. It's not slippery out, Then the next thing that comes up was my airbag system. I'm like, okay. I was like, Henry, we're taking this car back home. So I go to turn around and I'm at the stoplight. I'm right by my house. I'm like, please God, Please just let it make it to the house. Okay. My stereo system goes out. Okay. Then all of the freaking service lights come on at once. What the hell? I get my car into the driveway. I have to have it towed to the mechanic. Turns out the alternator, I don't think they even changed it. They charged me for it, but I don't even think they changed it. The way it looked, the mechanic who's been doing this for 30 years said that it looked like the original alternator. It looked like they had done some rewiring, and that rewiring was bad, causing it to run hot. And it was like, I don't know, it was shorting out the system somehow. And pretty much every single thing that had been going wrong slowly, like the starter, all these different things, was caused from this, he said. So we got that fixed. We got the new alternator. She should be good to go now. I really do trust this mechanic. I have really good energy. Like, it makes sense to me now. Like, here's the thing, okay? Hold on, let me move the little stray hairs because, you know, my bangs, they're finally growing out, but they're definitely not all the same length. Let's just say that. So now I just distracted myself. Okay, so to get back to the car thing, I have a really good read on people, you know, but the thing is that there are certain energies that I'm just not familiar with, or at least not familiar with identifying them properly. Okay, I feel like lately, let's just get into some of the energy readings, the energies that I've been feeling and that I've been going through, that I'm sure a lot of other people are going through, because, you know, Pluto is doing its thing, and then all these, this new eclipse is coming up. And so what I have noticed, okay, is that they compared it to a movie scene. Actually, it's been rough. I ain't gonna lie, guys. It has been a rough few months for me. Okay. And I feel like, you know, the scene in The Fifth Element, the movie The Fifth Element, where basically she's watching, she's like learning everything about humanity, right? And she's watching all these these videos and stuff really, really quickly on a screen. All right. And then she gets, and like, they're going through the alphabet, they're going through like the dictionary, all these different terms. And then she gets to the term for war and things like that. And she starts to see all the dark side, all the bad side, okay, so to speak, of what humans are capable of. And it kind of like, it shakes her, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, the opera singer dies, and then she's just really like, what is even the point? You know, like, what is even the point? I kind of feel like I've been at that place a few times as of recent, and it's not been fun. It's not been easy. The most intense thing, though, and this is why I think this is Pluto related energies, okay, is this wave of memories and emotions of, like, I'm reviewing my life. Okay, it's like I'm going through all these different past things that I don't normally think about, that are just suddenly coming up to the forefront, and I cannot get away from it. It's like I have to sit there and I have to face it. And I'm just like, okay, what is it that you're wanting me to learn from this, though? Because I don't know. I'm like stuck. I'm like, I don't know how to get past these certain things. I'm like, what is going on? And so I know that Spirit's just been continually trying to bring these things up for me so that I could face them fully head on and figure out, okay, what is it that I'm missing? What part of the lesson am I missing? And I think that this new eclipse that is coming up, the solar eclipse, which is, you know, it's in Aries, right? We're in Aries sun, it'll be Aries moon. Okay, so what is Aries energy? You know, Aries energy is that fire, that new beginning, that rebirth, okay, because it's like springtime, right? It's the beginning of a cycle, it's the beginning of something. So Pluto is dragging up all of our old stuff, all right, for us to sort through and sift through, kind of like when you're like gold mining or crystal mining. Even I've been watching this show about opal hunters, okay, and they have to sit there and they have to go through all this like plain looking rocks in order to find the opal gems, you know. And so that's what we're doing with our experiences right now. We're looking for those opals, we're looking for those gems, all right, and we're creating a new rebirth. That's what this solar eclipse is going to do. It's going to help you create a rebirth of sort. And I think you should check in your chart if you can and figure out where these, what houses these are falling in, the solar eclipse is falling in, because that particular house is going to tell you, okay, for yourself, what area is really firing up for that rebirth. Okay, which brings us also to the fact that we are here on Easter. Happy Easter. I didn't even say that to you guys. Happy Easter. Okay, and this is also a celebration of Ostara. Okay, which is the goddess of the spring and the goddess of fertility and rebirth. Think about what we even use to celebrate this. We use Easter eggs, right? The bunny rabbit, like that doesn't have anything to do with Christianity. I'm sorry, it doesn't. That's leftover traditions from the Ostera pagan rituals that we used to do, right? So the Easter, the egg itself symbolizes rebirth as well. Okay, so we're looking for that rebirth. It's time for us to push through that shell, and it's time for us to be reborn and hopefully a better version than what we came from, is how I'm taking it. Okay. So with that, I'm going to take a breath. Okay. So what I've been doing is a lot lately is I've been practicing connecting with different people's energies, because if we bring it full circle back to what I originally was talking about, was the mechanic that I dealt with at Firestone when I first took my car in. Okay. I did not read his energy right. I knew there was something that I couldn't figure out. It felt kind of hidden, but I don't know. I was very trusting and vulnerable in that moment because it's my car and I need it to work. So could you please fix this car? And I trusted. But having this other mechanic to be able to compare it to and compare the energies to, I can tell now the difference, or I can feel the difference between one who isn't just trying to get me out the door and save money and rip me off, and one who sincerely cares and helps and wants to give me a break and wants to help me get the best deal that I can. So I'm really happy about that. I also been using these opportunities to really, because I did mention in one of my promos that I'm going to be touching on the latest celebrity downfalls, which honestly I'm so very, very happy about. Okay, so I'm going to wait though to get into that to close to the end, because the first thing I want to get through is talking about what I've been promising you guys to talk about as of last session here, last live stream we did, is the Abramelin Grimoire, okay, and how to summon your own holy guardian angel, which is honestly the most craziest, extensive ritual I've ever heard of in my life. And I think that for most people, like, this is not even really going to be a possibility for you to do, which is kind of another reason why I don't really feel so leery about sharing all of the information. Okay, but for a second, I'm just going to go ahead and grab this, and I'm going to give a shout out to a few more people in the chat here. Hi there, Angel Lori. Nice to see you. Hi there, Hope. Nice to see you too. Autumn Rose. Beautiful name. Yeah. So let's see. I probably should just glance at what you guys are saying here. I just want to see what you guys had to say here. Victor, I agree with you. I do think that there are definitely mechanics out there that mess shit up on purpose. Like for instance, did I say hi to John Kins too? Hi there, John. And I really do feel like this particular, like, let me tell you, when I went to go look at the reviews for this store after I figured out what had happened and what had really gone wrong, and how if I had actually had that fixed properly and to begin with, probably most of the stuff would not have happened. Yeah, they definitely, the reviews were telling. They had so many 1-star reviews, so many people complaining about similar issues, and I'm definitely going to give a review and possibly try to get my money back for that, because the mechanic said he would help me. So hopefully he can help me there. Yep. Sorry, I'm just glancing. Bear with me here. I'm just glancing to make sure I don't miss anything important. Thank you. I appreciate that, Victor. I appreciate that. Okay. So let's get into the details here, right? Let's get into the good stuff. As you can see, I wrote quite a bit. So, and one more. Okay. I'm sorry. There is one more thing I need to get into before I actually start. Okay. Oh, and I didn't go into that part of it for the energies. Okay. Well, we'll just come back to that, because there is 2 people that I want to give a shout out to here real quick. And one of them is Mario from starseedsalsa.com. I'm pretty sure that's his email, or not his email, his website, right? I had an astrology reading with him. Some of you guys might know him as Shambhala Mario too. I can't pronounce his last name. Mario. I wish if I could, I'll type it. I'll type it in the chat later. But anyway, I got a great reading from this guy. I got a great astrology report from him. Highly recommend that you guys go to him. If not, go to Honora too, Honora Mornian. Okay, like at Remember Your Mission. That's their website. Those two people astrologically are the people that I trust and I go to. And he explained something to me for the first time that made so much sense. And for all of you out there that have a Taurus Chiron, okay, like that has been the hardest. What do I even call it? It's not really a planet. It's been the hardest part of my chart for me to understand. What does Chiron mean? The wounded healer. What does that symbolize? How does that affect my life? And he explained it to me in a way because it's in my second house, you see. And he said basically it's when you feel like you just never have enough when it comes to the physical needs that you like, money, okay, just the physical stuff that you need in the world to survive. Money was the biggest one that stood out for me because especially since I have been Doordashing so much now and I do make money, I make a pretty good amount of money, but I just kept feeling like, when will it ever feel like I have this money though? Like, when's it going to feel like it's enough? When, like, I kept setting the bar, a little bit higher. Like I'd say, okay, if my bank account is at this amount, then I bet I'll feel safe, and I get that amount. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not feeling it yet. So maybe if I go a little bit higher, and I've done this like 3-4 times now, and I keep reaching these goals. And it's like, okay, you know what? It's that alone is not making me feel safe. So what I've been doing lately is just been trying to remind myself, money, I'm safe now. Like, money is coming in. I'm always going to be able to bring it in. I have to have more faith. This has really been about confronting fears, the energies lately. Confronting fears, so many fears. I'm just, blows my mind. So anyway, go to Mario, get a reading from him. He's great. Okay. Also, my friend Christina Lee Dobbs. You guys know her. She sells Organite and stuff. Well, this beautiful woman. Okay, you can find her on Facebook. All right, Christina Lee Dobbs. Please buy some of her Organite if you can. She sent me these beautiful crystal bracelets. Okay. And she sent me this beautiful bliss. She sent me a little card that tells me what these are. I'm not promising I'm going to be able to pronounce these names, but we will try. Okay, this is a Trowlight Tower. Okay, she sent me rainbow. Here we go. Yeah, let's get that up. The rainbow obsidian turtle. Oh, that is so pretty. I love it. I love this little rainbow obsidian turtle. She sent me a little fluorite dragon. Oh yeah, she sells all these types of stuff in her little shop there. Okay. She sent me some of these really cool tower busters that she makes. Okay, so protect you from the EMF, right? And then she also, last but not least, she sent me an oracle deck. So now we have the Mystic Martian Oracle deck. And I did look through some of the cards, and they were pretty cool. Definitely going to give those a try. Not today, but we are going to give those a try at some point. Today we're going to pull a card from the Sacred Forest Oracle, and then we're going to pull the regular tarot. Okay. So I just want to say thank you to Christina. Thank you so much. I hope you get all the business you need in order to live an abundant, prosperous life. I wish you peace and happiness and harmony in your life. Saying a little prayer for you. Oh, hey, Chris. Nice to see you. Okay, so back to the grimoire. Okay. So last time we started to talk about it, I went into it a tiny little bit that I didn't, that this is how you could summon your holy guardian angel. That Aleister Crowley actually was supposedly the person who tried to perform this ritual, but he took some shortcuts. Shouldn't do that. Not only did he take some shortcuts, he had a bad translation of the book itself. So in his life, he did a lot of messed up things. I've been trying to ask Spirit to tell me a little bit more about that, and they have told me quite a bit, let me tell you. And maybe I'll get into that towards the end of here, because it kind of does tie into the whole celebrity downfall thing. Yeah. All right. Yes. It's about time. Okay. So the Abramelin Grimoire definitely is the most extensive and time-consuming ritual that I've ever heard of at this point. It is done by priest magicians. It is 3 to 4 books. All right. With the first book being basically the hero's journey. Okay, so if you guys know about Joseph Campbell, he really goes into that a lot. I like his perspective on the hero's journey. Okay, so it starts off with a man named Abraham of Worms, because he's from a Germany called of Worms, something like I forget. Forgive me if I'm saying that wrong, but he was from a place where that's how he got his name. Okay, Abraham of Worms, and he had done some studying. Was he had a mentor? He practiced with him for 10 years, but this mentor had been corrupted. Okay, his practices like had been corrupted. Like he had a focus. He wanted to attain this level of mastery, and he was so dead set on it and serious about it. All right, that that's all he did. Okay, but the first mentorship, which was, like I said, 10 years long with a guy named Moses, didn't work out. Then he had another mentor named Samuel. He passed away, didn't work out. So Abraham takes this trip, and he winds up in Egypt, and he ends up meeting this man named Abramelin. Okay, so he asked Abramelin to teach him. All right, the first thing that Abramelin wanted to make clear was that he was doing it for pure intentions. Intentions are just so powerful and so meaningful. And the intentions that he wanted him to have was to make a promise to live his life in the way of the way and law of the Lord. Okay? So after he made that promise, he gave him the first two books, was it? No, he gave him the second and third part of the book. The 4-part book, okay? It's called the Abramelin Operation. All right? He gave him the second and the third books of the Grimoire to copy. He wanted him to copy it, as it was going to be a gift for him later on after he did all these things to follow the ritual. Okay, so the next thing but first he had to prove himself. Okay, he had to prove himself in order for this mentor to open up and give him his teachings. It's like, don't cast your pearls before swine type of thing. You should keep your treasures close to you. Only share it with people who can really appreciate it and value it. Okay, so the first thing he had to do was, at the cost of, this was on his head, okay, like he had to come up with this money himself, was to take 10 golden florins, which he was to distribute by way of alms among 72 poor persons, who were then obliged to repeat certain psalms. Okay, now 10 golden florins today, that was medieval currency. Okay, 10 golden florins today, each one of those would be worth anywhere from $140 to $1,000. So first he had to give out money like this in charity. All right. Also, the thing you want to note that grimoires, the numbers are really important in them. Okay, they're very important in them. So 10 is the number of the Sephirot, which is the 10 attributes which God manifests himself as. Okay, so 10 florins. 10 is the number of the Sephirot, which is the 10 attributes of God. All right, these attributes include wisdom, love, kindness, might, beauty, intellect, nature, and other reflections of God's divine emotions. These attributes interact with each other as shown in the tree of life. Okay, so you can, if you need a good diagram in order to remember those, that's getting a tree of life. It's funny because when I first started to wake up and come into my soul braid experience, my walk-in experience, okay, I remember I took a bunch of stars, these sticky stars I had, and I actually created a tree of life on my door. And I think these symbols awaken something in us. It's just triggering me right now. A memory of an interview I heard of someone, I think their name was Sam something. They talked about the government and how there's this Seth Richards, is that his name? I think that might have been him. He talked about how there are certain symbols on each floor level going down into this underground base, and that these symbols would bring you fully conscious of who you are, what you're doing here, what's going on. And then going back up to seeing those symbols, it would take you back asleep. Okay, so I highly suggest that if you're wanting to get more in touch with these attributes, to make a tree of life diagram that you can see like a vision board. Okay, so 72, he had to deliver these 10 golden florins to 72 poor persons. Well, in 72, they say that there are 72 names of God. There were 72 apostles. In the Hebrew alphabet, there's 72 letters. So the 10 represents God's attributes, and the 72 represents God's name. Okay, so very important here. Things are all connected. As Abraham went to distribute the money, Abramelin challenged him and warned him not to make a single mistake. Being very precise was another thing that they really drilled into him. Like, you cannot make a mistake or you have to restart. Okay, the challenge was to fast for 3 days, only eating once a day and not to eat blood or anything dead. Okay, then he had to repeat all the 7 Psalms of David one single time in the 3 days. Next, he had to wake up at sunrise and to make a confession of his life unto God with commitment to fear and serve God and live and die by his law with complete obedience. So if you want these gifts, okay, if you want God to be able to use your vessel in a way that will give you special gifts, special powers, special abilities, maybe intensify them, because we all have them, but to really bring forward the power of that, your intention and your commitment to God have to be proven. You have to prove yourself, that your devotion to the cause, otherwise you end up like an Aleister Crowley, who clearly did not have the best intentions, and he ended up dying a poor, sick, lonely old man. His life went really, really bad. Okay, so this isn't something to mess around with. The Abramelin operation, here it is. So here we're going to go down a list of the things that sorry, I'm getting distracted by the chapter. We're going to go down a list of the things. Okay, so this required 18 months of solitude. This is why I'm like, I know this is not something that most people could do nowadays, but those who really have the ability to dedicate themselves, I suppose, could. But it's going to take you 18 months of solitude. The only person you really could be around were, they said, you gotta remember when this was written, your servants and your wife. But there were still strict rules even involving cohabitation, okay, which I'm going to mention a couple of them, which are absolutely ridiculous. Okay, the second was the next checkoff point here. We got the guardian angel, once summoned, stays for 3 days. Okay, in that 3 days, you have to learn everything that you can and take copious notes on what that guardian angel has to share with you, because it's going to be very important for the second part of the ritual. 18 months, and that's only the first part of the ritual. 18 months. You're only halfway done. The second half was to summon the 12 kings and dukes of hell and bind them to your will. All right. Some of the gifts that you could be given is the gift to heal, to prophesize, okay, to control the actions of other people, to be able to mind read. Okay. Some even say that you could fly and do like crazy other things like that, which I believe is absolutely possible. Absolutely possible. I mean, there's tales of that flying monk or priest or whatever, like all throughout France. I forget what his name was now. It might have been Francis. But I know that people actually reported seeing this guy fly, and it scared them to the point where they ended up killing him. And it was said that he would be inspired to be able to take flight and lift off by the joy in his heart, by reading the Bible and being inspired. And I know that's true because I've had astral experiences. I've had a really vivid and unique experience where I actually got to feel the feeling, and it was like an ecstasy. It was a joy. It's like the frequency of joy, when you can get it so high, it can lift you off the ground. All right, so the other thing that you have to keep in mind, that you can only ever use this power to the glory of God. That was what you had to make copious promises of, making sure that you were only going to use this power to bring glory to God. Okay, so the second book, all right, there's a little bit of confusion here. It's called Kabbalistic magic, but it actually really is similar to Goetic magic, okay, which Goetic magic is kind of tied. It's an ancient magic that is connected to the 72 Lesser Keys of Solomon, which was just another grimoire that instructed you how to summon these 72 demons in order to make them do your bidding, which that's ultimately what people say the reasons why they are able to do this, because the demons cast down from heaven were commanded to be subservient, right? Okay, so let's keep going though. So 18 months, not including the demon summoning. The other thing you had to have was discipline and self-restraint and a willingness to embrace a life of solitude. Like, you had to actually be willing to do it. You had to feel the compulsion. Like, if you're sitting there all lonely and sad, I think that's going to mess up the ritual somehow. not to be greedy, and never lend money to others at an unreasonably high rate of interest. Which I thought that was kind of interesting, that if you're already there to dedicate yourself to God, why would you do that to someone? Why would you? But anyway, they made sure to mention it. So maybe some people out there that just doesn't naturally click for them. Now you know. Okay. You have to be of good health and between the ages of 25 and 50 years old. You have to be monotheistic, which means you can believe in any religion you really want, but it has to be a religion where there's only one God. Okay. You have to have a willingness to shun all other occult, esoteric, and magical teachings. This is to help keep your focus on what it is that you're there to do, which is to summon your holy guardian angel and to commune with God, be able to do God's will on earth. Okay. You have to avoid choosing any particular day of the month to start the ritual. That any day that you might be considered lucky, or I'm going to do it because it's my birthday and this is special to me. Like, they want you to get rid of all of those things and be completely neutral, empty vessel, so to speak. Okay. The other thing, here's where it gets a little controversial. They do not want you to be a woman. They said if it's a woman, only a virgin. And not only that, but do not be sharing this information with women because of their love of talk. Oh man, which really, honestly, women were meant to be the talkers and the communicators. So it's been proven that women speak like so many thousands of words more a day on average than men. We are the vocal ones for the most part. But that, there are plenty of male talkers out there too. So anyway, so the next part of the ritual that you have to have is you have to have an altar. These ones are kind of self-explanatory. These ones you're kind of like, okay, that makes sense, But some of them, they're a little bit like, damn, this is a lot of work. A bedroom, an altar, a bedroom, a prayer room with a window balcony. Perfume made from a fragrant wood. A vest and a white tunic made of linen. A white girdle made of silk. Which I have heard before that clothing matters when it comes to your frequency. Okay, and like the whole thing with linen and wool, like you're not supposed to wear them together because they cancel each other out. Like linen is supposed to be cotton, I think, and yeah, cotton. Linen is supposed to be the one that is the highest vibrational. But I know there's someone in the chat that probably knows that a little bit better than me. So if you do, just go ahead and throw it in there. Okay. The other thing you have to have is a crimson robe that's knee length, made of silk and golden threads. A robe of mourning, which I assume to be a black robe. A pure white veil, which it fully covers the face, and it has to be inscribed with the tetragrammaton, which the tetragrammaton, okay, apparently is the 72 names of God. All right, so it's going to be embroidered with that. You have to have a crown, all right, a wand made from almond wood, a square or 7-sided silver plate, a ceiling lamp filled with olive oil. Again, I'm just really feel like a lot of this all has to do with the frequencies of things. All right, so like this is really making a lot of sense to me. All right, you have to have Abramelin ceremonial oil, which the ingredients can vary, and that was actually part of the problem I heard with Aleister Crowley's version, is that because he had such a poorly mistranslated version of this grimoire, that he actually didn't even use the proper ingredients. Like they left out Cassiopeia. Okay. So you have to have a Abramelin incense, which again is going to have its own ingredients. You have to have a censer, which is a basket to hold incense, which must never be taken out of the prayer room. Like you cannot fuck, like this is the thing, you cannot fuck up during this, or you start at the beginning, basically. Okay. Can you imagine putting in so many months worth of work and then you accidentally, the basket, took it out of the room. It's done. It's over. You're done. Okay. The next thing you have to have is a copper basket filled with charcoal used to light the incense in the censer. And the ashes must be correctly disposed of after every prayer session. Okay. And the last thing, this one was kind of interesting. It was a place that cannot be made unclean. And the thing that people propose that this is a garden. So you need to have a garden. Okay. So now let's say you're doing this, all right? You've decided, I'm going to do this Abramelin operation. I'm going to get all the things. You got your clothes, you got your incense, you got your wand, you got your crown, you got the right living environment, because, that's why Aleister Crowley bought the specific house that he did, because it met all the requirements, which is the prayer room with the balcony, okay? And and you're going to do this, all right? So here's the 3 phases of the operation itself. First is the lifestyle change. Okay, this is meant to completely change your normal routine and get you in basically to program yourself to devote and dedicate yourself to God, your mind, your body, your spirit to God and doing his work. All right, so no alcohol, no drugs, moderate food. Okay, you have to perfume the bed sheets on the Sabbath. That's one of the rules. Lengthy prayer before sunset and sunrise. Okay, so and one of the things I wrote down here, again, reminding us, you can't mess up, because God forbid you take a bath on a Wednesday, which is one of the things, they have a specific day you're supposed to take the bath. All right, well, now you're starting out the beginning. Or here's one of the weird rules. If your wife comes into the bedchamber during her period, if a woman was on her period, you were not allowed to be around her, basically. Okay, so you start off this first phase for the first 4 months, or the first 4 full moons, all right? You can have no sex. Being chaste is a really, really important part of this, all right? So once you get through all of these things and you're doing the prayers and you remain chaste and you followed all the rules, now you're going to get to step 2. You're going to get to the second stage, where you're going to really focus and get yourself ready to meet your holy guardian angel. You're going to do this now by a thorough shower and fasting on the eve of the Sabbath. That's the day. On the day of the Sabbath, you're going to be doing that, okay? Now, before entering the prayer room, you have another step added. You must wash your hands and your face with purified water and prolong your prayers. So you're really building it up. You're building up your prayers and how long you can last. It's almost like meditating. For me, honestly, it's reminded me a lot of when I did the Course in Miracles, and it started you off with, because I hadn't been meditating for quite a while, and it started you off with just 10 seconds at a time. 10 seconds, maybe once an hour. Okay, and then it slowly built up the time, all right, because that's what it takes in order to train your mind, because we are spirits inside of a vessel, and we have to learn how to control this. Okay, so now the second phase has happened. You're blasting through the 18 months, right? Now it's going to kick up to a third phase. All right, now you are expected to devote your entire mind to the operation. You have to shun society entirely, except your wife, whom you can only speak the law of God to. That's the only thing you're allowed to talk to her about. It's the law of God. You have to discard almost all other aspects of your life, except for acts of charity. I see something going on in the chat there, and I'll catch up with that in just a second. So you can't do anything else but talk about God and give charity. Okay, so now your ultimate goal has been achieved, and you have fully embraced a pure life, clean in body, mind, and spirit. Okay, now there's some quotes that are going to be coming from the book that I'm going to do my best to read through, but they kind of had that old style type of wording. Okay, so it's going to explain what's going to happen when this guardian angel, how it's going to get there, how it's going to show itself. But I'm going to read this question here real quick. Hold on. What about leap years? Wouldn't that mess it up? I don't think they would consider the leap years part. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just another day, as long as you're doing it for the 18 months. I mean, I suppose it doesn't really matter. Like I said, it's not really about which day you pick. It's about, are you doing it for the length of time that is a full 18 months? And it's about what you believe it to be, what you believe that 18 months to be, what you truly believe it to be, not just like, what if I just believe it to be this long time? Like, no. Your spirit truly does hold yourself accountable. Even if we fight against that, like deep down inside, like when you do something bad, you do something wrong, like you hold yourself accountable. And you'll know deep down. Okay, so here we go. So it says, I wrote here, let me just see how to jump into this. So now God can finally grant you the grace that you may enjoy and endure the presence and conversation of your own holy guardian angel. Okay, so doing all this work was just so that you could endure it. All right, because you have to be that right frequency. Okay, so, and granting unto you the secret wisdom so that you may be able to have dominion over the evil spirits and over all creatures. This is what it said. It said, this is added to your new prayers, which have now been extended to 3 times a day. So now these are the last final days. These are the last 3 days you're wanting to see your holy guardian angel, and you've been doing this work. Okay. So now you've extended your prayers to 3 times a day, the morning, noon, and night. And you must wear the vest and tunic of linen every time you enter the prayer room. And remember to end every prayer not to God, but to the holy angels themselves. So towards the end, you want to be very specific and direct it towards the angels themselves. The final days of the 18 months, you have now proved your worthiness to God, your worthiness and your purity, and to your holy guardian angels. So you're going to be worshiping God, the holy and guardian angels, and every bit of focus and energy you have is going to be dedicated just to that. Now, this is when it gets good. The holy guardian angel will appear. You might not be able to see it at first, but you will be able to feel its presence, and it comes with a smell. Okay? It comes with a certain scent, a fragrant scent, which I definitely get smells from time to time psychically, so I know that this is a real thing. When a past loved one who maybe used to wear a certain type of perfume, and suddenly you're smelling that perfume, you know, like that spirit is near you. Okay, so you're going to sense the presence of that holy guardian angel, and not long after that, it will manifest before your eyes. Aleister Crowley even said he reached this stage, he reached this point, and he was able to see his holy guardian angel. Now the holy guardian angel will speak such words of love so rich that no human tongue could convey it. Okay, so I'm sure it's just going to be so beautiful and overwhelming. He will instruct you as to how to appease him. He will show you true wisdom and holy magic, and he will animate you onto your, here's where we're reading a quote now. I'm reading a quote. He will animate you onto your great content in the fear of God, making you a recital of all the blessings which you have received from God, and bringing unto ye a remembrance of the sins by which you have offended him during the whole period of your life. And then he will instruct you and give unto you the manner which you shall be able to appease him and basically make things right. He will also show you where you erred during the operation and how to correct this in order to proceed forward to overcome the evil spirits. So here's the thing, guys. There may be a little bit of leniency here, you know, because if they're going over what it is that you did wrong, maybe somewhere where you messed up a little bit, that means there might be a tiny little bit of wiggle room for error here. But honestly, if someone was really going to be doing this, I wouldn't want to chance that. I would follow it by the book. Okay, unless you want to end up like an Aleister Crowley figure, right? So you don't want to mess that up. Okay, so now your angel will basically train you in all the ways to overcome and subdue evil spirits and ordering them into submission. They said making notes is very important, as this will be your lifeline to the next step. Now, I stopped here because that was just so much that I was like, you know what? I'm going to wait and see how people think about how they feel about this. And if you guys want me to go over the next part, which is the demon summoning part of the ritual, I will. But I stopped at that point because I was like, I don't know, you know, do they want to hear all the specific demons and all the little things that they have to do in order to rein it into submission here, you know? So basically, like, I saw it as like a triangle, okay, of you got you, right? You got your holy guardian angel, and you got the demons, right? So you're summoning your holy guardian angel in order for that holy guardian angel to help you summon the demons, which is the 12 dukes and kings of hell. All right. And they will come at you. This is the part where Aleister Crowley failed. He could not overcome the demon summoning ritual, and he basically left a portal to hell open in this house that he bought for this operation. And there have been several tragedies since he's done this that have happened at the house. Okay. So yeah, so basically, yeah, you're working for Holy Guardian Angel, they're the demon summoning, and then you're using that in order to do God's will on earth. And where's that will coming from? It's coming from God himself through the Holy Guardian Angel. It's like a nice little work group, you know. So yes, I will definitely go over it next time. Yes, awesome. I love it, guys. Well, then I absolutely will bring it. Hello there, Matthew and Honora. So, oh, hi, Deborah, too. Nice to see you. See if there's anything else here. Yeah, it's creepy, but it's definitely fascinating, and that's why I couldn't turn it off, and I had to keep like researching it. I just couldn't stop, and so I was like, let's see if other people are interested in this stuff like I am. And thankfully, I'm in the right group of people, right? So yeah. What else was I going to say about that? Sorry, I'm just getting the area ready for some tarot reading and such. There was one other thing I wanted to say about this part. I'm just trying to pull it back and see what it was. I mean, just the names alone are creepy in themselves, but when you they're names that you're going to know. I'm surprised that they were mostly they want to put those names out there for you because those are real things. These entities, the 4 kings of hell. I mean, you're going to know them. It was like Lucifer, Satan, Leviathan, and there's one more. Look at that. I'm forgetting it. Anyway, we're going to go over that next time. All right. Fret not. I will get that together. But as for this part of the stream, we just went over it. There you go. Now you know about the Abramelin Grimoire and that you can indeed summon your own Holy Guardian Angel if you really want to put the time, the work, and the dedication into it and take it very, very seriously, which I kind of already had. I've never gone to that extent, obviously, but I know that when I first started to wake up, like I said, when I first experienced calling, basically, it feels like I called my walk into me. It was because the purity in my heart, the intention in my heart had never been that strong. I wanted to be the best version of myself for my children, for my daughter. Okay, specifically because I was having my first girl and I was able to step back and just see all the ways that I'd been living a program. I've been living the exact example that I was given, and I wanted to do better for them. Okay. And that was what slowly started to give me these manifestation abilities. It was because God granted permission for that. And I was so very, very grateful and still am. Okay. So let's see what we're going to do next. I agree. I agree with you on that, Matthew. Oh, Belial. Boom. Yes. You got it. That was the 4th one. Yes. Very fascinating stuff. I do plan on getting into even more than that at later dates too. So let's go ahead and let's switch gears a little bit, guys. That was exciting. I'm like a little bit on a high from it now. That was really fun. I really enjoyed talking about that to you guys. Let's pull our fortune cookie for today. And then let's get into the tarot readings. And then I will, I guess I'll wrap it up with, like I said, a little bit of talking about the downfall of recent celebrities. I'm kind of excited to talk about that because there are some people, like I said, I've been tapping into these. That's one thing you can do. Really, I feel like when you want to know about this stuff, when you think about these people, you can tap into their energies, and everyone gives a really completely different feeling. But there are some out there that I feel like are really pretending to be super good, and I don't get super good feelings off of them. And I really want to go over that. I want to see what everyone else thinks because it's just interesting, right? I mean, they're the ones that are doing the programming for the most part. There's a reason why they pick the people that they pick because of the frequency that they give off. They abuse every single one of those children. All the children, all the grown adults have been abused too. So they're literally giving off that frequency just as we're watching them, this like they're programmed. This is one more insidious, deep level way that they are programming us. It's time for that to come to an end. All right, let's go ahead and let's clear my energy real quick. Yep. Okay. Fortune cookie pull for the collective. What does the collective need to hear? What is the message that we need to hear? I already got one in my hand. They said this one. Let's see what we got. Okay. All right. What do we need to hear? Oh, it happened again. This is the second time this has ever happened. Wow. We don't even need a fortune. We don't even need a message. Everything is amazing. No, I'm kidding. We're going to pull another one. This time, I'm going to let someone say stop. Okay. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. Throw that at the wall. Unbelievable. Okay. So here we go. Okay. Ready? Ready? All right. I'm mixing it up. What does the collective need to hear? Someone tell me to stop in the chat. First stop I see, I'll stop on that. Okay. Boom. Got it. Okay, I'm looking real quick. I'm peeking. Okay, there's a fortune in this one. Unbelievable. Okay. So what message does the collective need to hear? Come on, guys. Give us a good one. Show us what we really need to know. Please. Boom. Sometimes even love shows a rerun. What a strange and unique message. Sometimes even love shows a rerun. Okay. It's funny considering I was just talking about the entertainment industry and TV and things of that, and it gives us a fortune with the word rerun on it. That is kind of funny. Okay, so I'm very much happy that my bangs are finally growing out. Okay. Also, side note, I am going on a trip. I will be leaving here this Friday, this Friday, the 5th. And I'm going to be going to Montana to visit my friend Taylor, who just moved there to create a sustainable community. And I'm pretty excited about it. I was originally going to go and drive with her there, but it was going to be like a 9-day trip. And I'm like, I can't be away from my kids for that long. Just trying to get a babysitter was going to be too crazy and hectic. So I was very sad about it, but then we worked out a way for me to be able to go visit her just for those 5 days. So that's where I'm going to be at. And we're going to pull an oracle card from, like I said, the Sacred Forest Oracle. And the other place that if you want to come actually hang out in person, most of you guys know this already, but in case anyone's on the fence about going, come to the Journey to Truth conference. Come to the Journey to Truth conference. Come hang out with me and my friends. You'll fit right in. You'll have so much fun. It's so much different when you're in a group of people physically. You know, we have upgrades for each other. We need to share. So if you're thinking about it, come meet me there. That's where I'm going to be in May. All right. So let's go ahead and prepare. Yes, it'll be there again. This year. I still haven't decided whether I'm going to drive or fly. Honestly, I kind of want to drive my car, but I need to make sure she's driving good for sure. So I'm driving her for a few weeks before I decide. And then I guess at the last minute, I guess within a few weeks here, I'm going to decide, am I driving or am I flying? I want to drive, but I don't know. I don't know. Okay. So let's go ahead. Yay, yes. I'm excited. I'm excited to see Montana. I've heard it's a beautiful state. Laura Eisenhower actually lives across the way from the property I'm going to be at, and we're going to hang out with her. We're going to hang out with Laura Eisenhower. Isn't that cool? Love that woman. She's so cool. She's such a sweetheart. But she's also a badass bitch. Okay. Yeah. Don't mess with her. Okay. So what oracle message does the collective need to hear? Saying a quick prayer. Yes, please. Could you give us the message that the collective needs to hear? Mm-hmm. Okay. I just have to do a little bit of shuffling, mixing up the energies for everyone here so we get a good reading. Okay. So since I don't, oh, wow, they just stopped me right there. Because I just wanted to say, since I haven't been doing as many live streams like once a week, it's been basically like once or twice a month, I'm going to focus the intention, and you guys can help me out if you want, tap into the energy here, help me focus the intention that this energy reading is going to be for at least 3 weeks. Okay, let's just say 3 weeks instead of just 1 week, because I don't like leaving y'all on like a cliffhanger there, like what's happening with the energies now? No, I know you don't do that, but you get the drift. All right, so for the next 3 weeks, especially with that solar eclipse, tell us what is going to result. What new rebirth is going to happen as a result of all these really intense, fiery energies? What are we going to finally get to accomplish? All right, it's ready. They said it's ready. Okay. What does the message? That's the message. Boom, got it. Okay. Okay, I just want to thank Dennis, who's not here right now, but thank you, Dennis, for gifting me these oracle decks. All right, so wow, we got elves, playfulness. See, I picked the forest one, the sacred forest deck, because it's springtime and it's Austera and it's Easter. So I figured, what does nature want to say to us, right? Well, they want us to be playful, which is so, oh my God, that's just so crazy. Because when I was really tapping in to the energy of Austera before, like as I was preparing the last couple of days for this stream, I kept seeing like an image of a maiden like in a forest, and she was like playing peekaboo behind a tree. She was like, peekaboo, like that kind of chase me type of energy, and like, the whole rabbits thing. Like I was thinking anyone who has like a rabbit totem or is really drawn to rabbits probably is blessed by Austera, which is just a very lighthearted, warm, breezy, the sound of new life, just the birds, the new baby birds, and all those different sounds and everything like that. I'm trying to feel it, a little bit more, see if there's any more details I can add to that. But that's literally what I was seeing. Like being playful is really important right now. So lightening up, which I definitely need to do. I'll tell you that just firsthand for me. I definitely need that. And that's why this trip is going to be so important, because I've been working my butt off, having to pay for these car repairs, having to pay for Easter, birthdays, all that. And I'm looking forward to the break. So let's see what elves have to teach us. Okay, so this is for the energies for the next couple weeks here. The elves have invited you to dance with them under the stars and moonlight. The music begins and you twirl and you leap with glee. Elves and fairies dance around you, and the wild spirit of the night fills you. All inhibitions dissolve, and you giggle with delight as the spirit of playfulness embraces you. It says, allow your inner child to play. Embrace your innocence. If you have been taking life too seriously, this card reminds you to lighten up. All that is required of you is to enjoy yourself. If your responsibilities and hard work have clogged your life force energy, it is time to give yourself a break and have some fun. Nurture your spirit by doing something unexpected. madcap, or even silly. The greatest gift that you can give the world is your joy. So make play a priority. Oh man, I feel that one for sure. Like fairies, elves are diminutive. Like fairies, elves are diminutive beings that live in the forest, meadows, and hollowed out tree trunks. There are accounts of elves throughout history and in every country in the world. Many people attest to having seen them playing in the woods. In some traditions, they are thought to be gleeful tricksters with a reputation for pranks and mischief. Allow this joyous energy into your day now. The spirit of the elf says, embrace your innocence, let go of heavy responsibilities, give yourself a break, nurture your spirit by doing something fun. Joy is as important for sustaining yourself as the food you eat. Now that is hitting home for me. I'll tell you that one. Because, I have really, like I said at the beginning of this, with Pluto's energies coming in here lately and basically tilling up all the soil of my past life, my life's experiences, and it being so difficult to get through. And I'm just like, what is it you're trying to get me to learn here? Like, why am I not feeling joy anymore? Why am I not feeling happy? Like, why are there only certain things that I'm doing? Like, and even those things, it seems like it wears out super quick. I'm like, what is the problem here? And I realized what it was. I realized that, especially with this past summer and the trauma that I went through there, that I was basically self-punishing. I was punishing myself. I was not allowing myself to feel like, if I started to feel happy or good about something or love about something, it was like, but look what you did, look at the mistakes you made. And like really beating myself up, because, if it was just me, it would be one thing. If it was just me, but it wasn't. Okay, I have 6 children to think about. And so when I took them into that situation, I have only myself to blame for the fact that they had to go through that pain too. And the fact that I put my 6 children through that pain, I walked them right into that trap with me. I really was being short-sighted and, wanting to be out of the situation that I was in so bad that I was willing to go down a road that I knew. It's not like it's not like there weren't red flags. I just, this is the thing I've been thinking about. And I was wondering, I was like, am I going to share this? Am I not going to share this? Well, this is part of what helps me heal myself in sharing this with you guys, to get through the self-punishment thing. I really had to look at, okay, well, am I afraid to even look at the points where I knew it could go wrong? I could go bad. And, it just, they brought forward to my mind this memory of this moment where I was having this conversation with my ex, and he was expressing hesitancy into wanting to go through with moving in together. Because at that point, we weren't really getting along all that well. Like we did, there were moments, but then there were these moments that we weren't. And I basically said to him, that's fine. We don't have to do this. But, at this point, I don't ever want to talk again then. Now, listen, I know right off the bat that to him, that came across as like, oh, I'm just saying, I'm threatening. Like, I'm never going to talk to you again then. Like, but no, I was sincere. That's why that was my wrong step. That was the first big wrong step that I took, when I should have paid attention to how my body felt when that option came open. Like, oh, we can just not do this at all. Okay, fine. That's fine. Let's just stop. I would have been upset, but it felt even better at the time than the option of going forward. But then he proposed it again. And so I was like, well, I want my children to have a better life. All of it, it's always been about my kids and just trying to make a better life for them. But anyway, so it was at that moment that I realized, okay, so I'm punishing myself for having made the wrong choice. But we all make mistakes. We all make wrong choices. And I have to learn to let go of that, because I still deserve to feel love. And I still deserve to feel happiness. I still deserve to feel joy, just like we all do. And so I really have been working on not pushing away when the love and joy does come up, when I am having fun, like to stop the self-punishment, So I don't know. I'm sure there are other people out there in the chat that experience this type of way of suffering, like self-suffering, like the chains that we put on ourselves, basically, right? So yeah, I'm working on that, and I'm glad to be here moving forward, because I don't think I figured that out last time. That's the thing. I did not figure that out. I did not figure out that I walked myself into an even darker road in the past when I made mistakes, because I was feeling so bad about what my children had to have gone through, but we all come here on purpose. I truly believe that. I truly believe that we all pre-plan this, okay, in order to learn certain things. So sometimes I know I do need to remind myself that my children also are not just my children. They're their own separate individuals and part of God with their own path and their own plan of things that they want to learn. And they wouldn't have chosen me without knowing what we were going to go through. And so I've really just been taking in those moments when I am home with them. And lately, this is what I've been doing. I've just been looking around the room when we're all sitting there, we're watching something on TV together, we're just talking, or I'm watching them play, and just reminding myself, this is what life is really about. This is what's really important in life. Not the money, not the things, not the home, the connection. The connection to each other is what's important. So that is what I've been focusing on. That is what I've been trying to remind myself. Oh, yeah. Well, I got that heavy little drop off right there. We're going to do the tarot reading for the collective. I'm ready. I'm ready to see what we got coming up. Because for me, this energy is riding right up into my trip, guys. So let's do it specifically. Again, let's really focus the intentions right now, again, on how that eclipse energy is going to affect us all. So this is a prayer. God, please assist me. I'm doing a reading for all the people here in the chat now. Let them all be able to relate to it in their own specific and unique ways. Let anyone who is watching this in the future be able to find help in it. Let it bring us peace of mind, or at least guide us in the next step in the direction that we all need to go in order to bust out of that egg, so that we may be reborn into the highest version, best version of ourselves and our timeline. Yeah. Oh, well, we're done. Okay, we're done. One more. One more. One more. All right, that's it. Okay. All right, guys. Message says the collective here. Ooh. Clear. Okay. Okay. First card. Ooh. Judgment. Speaking of rebirth, let's just go ahead and pull the Judgment card out now. Okay. So this is a pretty intense card. Yeah. This is a pretty intense card. As you can see, like even the flowers in this card look like they're kind of wilting away and dying. But then there's this other one here that's like blooming up here for the first time. So it's time for the old and the dead and the decaying, the things that no longer serve us on our path towards enlightenment. Okay, it's time for those things to fall away and for the judgments to be made, for us to let go of... See, because something wants to be reborn. Like I said, when I was talking about the astrology part of it, like what What house is your moon falling in, so you can figure out what part of the life is trying to be reborn, because the universe says you don't get to wait any longer. Like if you're holding on to something, you're like, oh, but I really like this thing, like they want to give you a better, newer version of that. They want to fill your life with happiness and good things. But sometimes you have to let go of that old stuff. You have to be willing to give that over, even if it's a beloved thing, in order for the new thing that you'll love just as much or more to come through. So it's time to let go of that stuff. There was something else that was just coming through. So hold on one second. Let me see if I can channel back into that. Let me see if I can grab back onto that. Okay. With the Judgment card. No, don't just slip away from me. Like the sun is shining so bright here, like it's time to really shine a light. And that's what I feel like is just going on with this entire year, honestly. When I channeled in earlier today, I was thinking of stuff. When I channeled into the entire year, it was like the sun card came blazing through. It was just like, it's time to just expose all of the stuff that you really need to see and look at for what it really is. But it's time. You cannot wait any longer. If you've been putting it off, they're going to just do it for you. You're really going to have no choice. But I feel like I'm trying to see if I feel more positive. Like there's a gray spectrum of how this Judgment card is coming through. Let me see. I'm getting more towards the light than towards the dark here. But it is a gray. It is a gray. So there is a mix. There is a mix of emotions there. But let's pull a little bit more clarifying cards. And hopefully that other thing that I was trying to bring through will come back and pop back up for us. Okay, so let's just keep going. What's the next part of the message for the eclipse and this next couple weeks? What's the next part of the message? Explain more on the Judgment card, please. Okay, wow. Okay. 2 of Rods. I was thinking about this card earlier. Isn't that funny how that happens? Think about a card and then you pull it out. So the 2 of Rods is a very powerful card because they're saying, yeah, it's time for you to take responsibility for your life. It's time for you to take control and actions in your life that maybe you feel like maybe there's certain areas that you're feeling like you're not self-sufficient. Okay, well, the Judgment card is blazing through to say, no, it's time for you to stand on your own 2 feet. It's time for you to take the reins, so to speak, and to have complete dominion over your life and what it is that you want to do and what it is that you want to create. So it's time to really boil down what it is that your goals are and your intentions are, because it is important to keep focus on that. Just like we were learning about with the Grimoire. If you want to achieve a certain thing, you have to stay focused on that. And, this also can be a card like a decision card. You know what I'm saying? Like, do I take this path or do I take that path? Because there's 2 rods there. But the thing I love about this card is deep down in your heart, you already know which answer you've chosen. You already know which decision, which action you're going to take. But maybe you just, again, like you're kind of being hesitant, like the Judgment card, like you're still kind of holding on to this thing. All right. And I think that one of the best ways you can find out which of the 2 choices you should do is just pick one and see how you feel about that. 9 times out of the 10, you're going to feel right away if it was the wrong one. You're going to feel it. Kind of like when you're trying to decide what to eat for dinner. You're like, well, should I have this or that? Let me flip a coin. And then you flip a coin and it lands on a certain, you get a certain response. And then you realize, oh, wait, no, I really want that other thing. I really want that other thing. Okay, so it's time for you to really figure out what that is, to acknowledge it. You already know in your heart what it is, but it's time to really acknowledge it and then take the actions and take the steps towards fulfilling that. And the Judgment card is clearing away the old things. Pluto energy is clearing away these old things. We're tilling up all that soil, okay, so that we can plant the new garden. This is the time for it. This is Aries sun, Aries moon energies, all right? Okay, so, all right, let's do the next card, though. Let's see, what is the next part of the message for everyone? I do find it funny, too, sorry, I just had to come to mind, that even the sun is kind of being partially eclipsed in this, so considering we're talking about the eclipse. All right, so, and there's even like a dark circle there. Okay, enough. All right. That's the last part of the message. The last part of the message for everyone. The eclipse. Elaborate more, please. Okay. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Okay. So we got the 5 of Cups. So I say this is probably the part where we really have to let go, and we might be sad about letting those things go, right? Like for me, okay, that's what was trying to come through earlier. Boom. Okay. Cancer energies. I heard something really unique the other day from this astrologer I was listening to, and she was talking about cancers can never move forward unless they have cleared everything from the past. That there are certain energies where they just certain signs where that's not the same for them, where they just can go forward, they focus on the future. But for Cancer energies, okay, like Cancer has to digest that past, all right, it has to go through it, like walking backwards, so to speak. So that is basically, it's like a Cancer energy I'm feeling coming through here, that's saying like we really have to look at that past and digest it and clear it in order to get to the good stuff, which guess what? That good stuff is right there behind us. You know, we're just like that Cancer right now. We're just like that crab walking backwards, looking at all the old stuff that we needed to clear. Okay. And yeah, that is sad. You know, the things I went through with my children, that is sad. But does that mean that I should not ever turn around and focus on these 2 of Cups here? Which, what is the 2 of Cups? The 2 of Cups is relationship and connection with other human beings. That is what I've been cutting myself off from. I've been feeling so bad and guilty and punishing myself so much. It's like I won't even take the time. You know, I really had to force myself. I'm like, I know friendships take work and they require maintenance. So I try to make sure that I tend to those. But when you're feeling so bad about yourself, it's hard to do that. You know, so it's time to really accept that what is gone, and to turn around and face the future. Take the actions. Okay? Take the actions. Focus your drive and your intention on turning around so that you can feel that love and joy, because that's what cups are about. They're about emotions. And full cups are good. All right? The full cup symbolism here, that is a good symbolism. Not only that, but it also can represent coming into like inner union with your masculine, your divine masculine, your divine feminine. You know, so possibly doing a little bit of work on that and seeing where is it that these parts of myself have maybe not been getting along or not acknowledging each other. Like the things that come to us out in the outer world, what we see, what is brought to us, right, is usually a reflection of what's going on inside of ourselves. All right. So if, say for instance, you know, if I'm feeling emotionally neglected, if I'm seeing that as a reflection out in the world outside of me, most likely that's something inside of me that I need to deal with and I need to address. You know, where am I not caring for myself? Okay. So let's see if I can wrap this all up. So the Judgment card is coming to clear away that old dead rot that we no longer need, so that we can have fertile soil to blossom and rebirth. All right, to bring something back from the grave, so to speak. You know, rise again. He is risen. I mean, isn't that not the perfect card? That's what it's making me think of right now. Jesus being rising from the grave, right? Like, okay, so we're going to clear all that. We're going to focus our intention and the fact that you are responsible for your life and you got to make the best choices for it. All right. And the first thing you need to do is clean up by not focusing on the past, by seeing it. Go ahead and see it, get the feelings out, but then realize you deserve to feel love. You deserve to feel happiness. You deserve to have joy. You deserve to reach that timeline of abundance and prosperity where you are acknowledged and given credit for the work that you do in this world. To be seen for who you really are. That's a big one for me. I want to be seen for who I really am. I want people to connect to me based on who I really am. And so I always try to show that to people back, you know. So, okay. Whoops. All right, got something on my screen. I'm trying to get it off of it. Okay, there we go. All right. That was intense energies, but I like the message ultimately. Okay. So hopefully that helps you guys. Hopefully you get through it. Hopefully we are all activated by this solar eclipse coming up. Oh, Jessica, the Cryptid Huntress. Woo woo! Oh man, I love when you show up. Your name is so cool. I love her. If you guys don't know about the, I'm sure you have. You have to. Oh, the psychic dump too. Oh, oh man, I got the best people up in my chat. I'm so happy about it. So who wants to get into a little bit of gossip? I'm sorry, I can't help myself. I have to get into a little bit of gossip because, you know, I watch all these freaking YouTube videos. I've been going through little, like, I don't know, stints of, I'll binge watch like this one channel and then I'll get a little bored of that and I'll binge watch this other channel, you know? And so I've been going through it. And, you know, part of what, like, I got into like a creepy section of one. First I was going like, you know, all the demonology, angelology, all that type of stuff. And then I kind of went over to the dark side of YouTube. You know, there's this guy who has this channel that puts out all this content about like really creepy sounding, like going into mysteries and not just mysteries, but tragedies and stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh my God. But then I had to kind of like shake myself out of that. And so now I've been going over to, you know, this really happened in response to hearing that P. Diddy had his house raided. And I was kind of like, you know, what's going on there? You know what? I didn't even know what for. I seen memes about it. That's the only reason I even knew about it is because I saw memes about it. And I'm like, oh, P. Diddy is being raided, you know, because I mean, who else has felt like we live in this world and even though we know all this bad stuff is happening, like there's just like seems to be no repercussions for it. No one ever seems to, you know, get justice for it and stuff like that, which who knows? This might not even be justice. This could just be, you know, the elites giving us here's some distraction here. We'll go the humiliation ritual even, you know what I'm saying? Like we all know that they do these things. So supposedly P. Diddy is finally getting busted for sex trafficking, which I've heard so many things now at this point. I've heard that the neighbors said that he would have busloads of underage girls and stuff like that bust into his house, bust to his property at 3 a.m., you know, and it's supposed to bring down all these other people. Okay. But this made me want to start looking again at the other people's energies. Like who gave the first tip off really was like Cat Williams. Okay. Cat Williams had this great interview not that long ago where he basically claimed to break the internet, and he did pretty much cause a big upstir, but he said like, this is the year where all these people are going to be exposed. Everything that all the ugly, all the nastiness is going to come up and truth is going to be exposed. And he did specifically refer to P. Diddy. He said, you know, he had to turn down $5 million 4 times because you just have to tell P. Diddy no. You know, but here's the thing. I love Cat Williams. I think he's hilarious. Okay? I think he's hilarious. But some part of me is kind of like, you don't get that recognized. Okay, not necessarily that he did anything of the bad things that we know that they do, but he kind of had to turn a blind eye to it. I mean, what other choice do they really have? I guess you could say at that point, like he's only one person. And even during the interview, I watched some body language experts. I've been watching psychics now and body language readers. Okay, and they basically said like he did a lot of like pacifying, like self-soothing types of. Like the whole interview he did. So like he definitely was nervous, but he didn't give off any signs of lying or not telling the truth. Okay, so this took me down like a rabbit hole. So like Cat Williams. Okay, who else we got? We got like B.I.G. Supposedly he was the one that ended up, he's the one that was supposedly responsible for Tupac and Biggie's murder. Tupac and Biggie. Like what kind of low life is this dude? Is he even human? That's what I think. I think most of these celebrities out there have been so abused, especially we know through the ritual of sodomy. Okay, now that's the hardest hitting one. It's the most painful one to think about, that other people are out there perpetrating this type of act against minors, you know, because supposedly that's what he was doing with all the people that, like Usher and Justin Bieber, their parents basically sent their children at young ages to be mentored by these adult men in this industry. And it's like God, why would you do that? And so, they get abused and they get sodomized. And what happens when that happens? Well, it's a quick and easy access to your entire chakra system, to your crown chakra, being able to open it up, being able to push you out, because you have to dissociate. So then what's able to take the place of that? Well, demons and other things like that are able to latch onto your energy. They're able to fill up your energy. Okay, so that's what basically they've just been rolling around in this, passing it from one person to another. Supposedly, Kim Porter, who was P. Diddy's wife, she had couple kids with him or whatever, he basically murdered her. And spiritually, the psychic that I was, which the psychic's name is Sloan Bella. If you guys know about her, Sloan Bella is amazing. And she was talking about how Kim Porter basically communicated with her from the other side. And here's the thing, guys. I was watching these videos that she did like months ago, and she was predicting the things that were going to happen now in those months ago videos. She was saying in this many months, this is when things are going to start popping off for, P. Diddy and all that, because he basically killed her, and she knew it was going to happen. And she basically had a bunch of different like backups as to how she would get the information out. So supposedly that's supposed to be coming out. Okay. To top it off, the whole Nickelodeon documentary that they just did on HBO Max, which I haven't even got through all of it yet because it's so heartbreaking to know that my children grew up watching these shows. I grew up watching these shows. And Dan Schneider, the people in power, the worst one though, hearing about was this guy named Brian Peck, who was a acting coach. All right. And he took advantage of Drake from Drake and Josh, like the worst of the worst. I mean, Drake couldn't even bring himself to verbally say it. They had to show it on the screen of the acts that he had done. And he had 41 people, other actors that you would know if I said their name, write to the judge. Okay. They wrote to the judge asking for leniency. This guy, Brian Peck, only got 18 months in jail, and then he was back out, and Disney hired him. This is a cesspool. It's just absolutely disgusting. Like, these are our children. Like, it makes me just absolutely unacceptable. And so then one of the other videos I watched was Dan Schneider. Just right before I even started this live, I watched this video. Dan Schneider being read by a body linguist about this apology interview that he did. Like, and he was not apologetic. He was not apologetic. I'm sorry. The words were coming out, but the facial expressions and things of that nature, they were not there. He basically feels like, well, there were guys that were a lot worse out there than me. But you were the one. You are just one of the cogs in the machine. That is what this dude is. And I'm ready for them to go down. The one I personally hated the most, I'll tell you right off the bat, you can tap, like I said, tap into these people's energies. Just get a little feel. You can feel it. Like, you can just feel the evil coming from it. And I think it's good practice to properly label the energies, because that's really what I've been having to learn. I'm having to learn, okay, because there are certain ways that I don't behave and I don't act, okay, that would never occur to me, things that I just would not naturally exist to me. But I can learn about those things through reflecting and watching other people and seeing other people. So let's train ourselves to feel these energies, because you know what they are. You feel them. I remember when I was a young girl one time, I got around this man. It was one of my mom's friends' boyfriends. Okay. And thank God I only was around him one time, but I only had to be around him that one time to feel and know in my soul that this man was not a good man, that he was looking at me in inappropriate ways. And it come to find out later on, it was validated that he did this type of stuff to my mom's friend and the children. Okay. So we know this. We need to become more in tune with it. But of course, there's two sides of the story here. You got, or two different ways that this can happen. You can have a child whose parents really do love them and try to protect them with all their heart and want them to live their dream to be an actor and actress, just like the kid that was Drake on Drake and Josh. Right? Like, he had good parents. Like, you could see it in his dad's face, the pain. He was literally in tears and cried because he tried to prevent it, because he sensed it too. And he told his wife, his ex-wife at the time, do not under any circumstances let Drake be alone with that man. But of course, they're very manipulative and they're groomed. And so, he groomed the mother basically to let her have more time alone with this kid. And that was when this happened. Like, I can't even imagine the guilt. Like, I feel like I have guilt. Like, I can't even imagine the self-punishing guilt that would have resulted in some the atrocities that happened to this child. Okay. But one of the celebrities that I actually hated the most, and I'm sorry, I was so happy when this person passed away, was Bob Saget. Okay. Bob Saget. I don't know. I heard some things about him, and I heard him telling a joke one time. It was like this, I don't know, it was a radio show or something, where it was just a recording of him having a talk with someone, and he was telling this story, and this story was so graphic and so grotesque, and I could just hear that there was some truth in it. It was like, this guy is so terrible. Like, how can he even be alive still? I used to wake up, I'm not joking, this was the weirdest thing. That's why I feel like I knew this guy in a past life or something. I feel like I did. I feel like I knew him in a past life. I feel like I at least knew that he was really bad in the astral, like a warlock. Okay, so Bob Saget was a warlock. I'm just saying that. Most of them are warlocks. P. Diddy is a warlock. I'm saying they are occult magicians. They are practicing dark occult. They're doing these rituals in order to maintain power, in order to harness these negative entities and demons and such, in order to be where they're at and to make, to manipulate people. And so I used to wake up like in the middle of the night, and I would just be like, why is that man still allowed to live on the planet with what I heard him say? And eventually he was gone. And I was like, okay, one less one. Because for me, that one felt personal for some reason. And that's one of the things that, I don't know, to me is meaningful, because we give our life meaning, and I trust and I follow the instinctual feeling. I try my best to trust and follow my instinctual emotions and feelings towards specific people. Okay, whether it's good or bad, because I've experienced both at this point. I've experienced like just meeting someone and being like, why do I have these intense loving feelings for this person? I don't understand. I need to, and that's how I am. Like, I need to understand. All right. And then I have the opposite. Like, why do I just have these bad feelings about this person? And I don't understand why, and I need to. I want to understand. I'm an investigator. What is that? It's not astrology. It's human design. My human design is I'm an investigator. So I want to understand why, And so I really, truly believe that there was some type of past life connection I had with this guy. And I was glad for him to be gone. But another one I want to call to light, because he kind of, I feel like, puts himself out there as gray and light, okay? Because, the music industry is just completely laden with these predators, these pedophiles. All right? Well, who was married to Katy Perry? Who was married to Katy Perry that just claims to be so spiritual and enlightened, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to teach everyone with my podcast? Russell Brand. Yeah, we will talk about that one in a minute, girl. Oh my God, I just read that. Okay, Alexis, I just saw that. Russell Brand. I'm sorry. No, dude. No. When I tap into that guy's energy, and I did yesterday, okay, and he came across so arrogant and so cocky, like true narcissist. This guy, that is the energy. If you want to read the energy of a narcissist, tap into Russell Brand. Let me just say that. Russell Brand is not a good guy. The fact that alone that he was married to Katy Perry, and we know what they do to the singer. She's MK Ultra for sure. Okay, she was abused. She definitely bought into it because she was, honestly, she was raised by missionaries, Christian missionaries, who neglected her, and she got sexually abused, because that's how it starts. Okay, because it's the gift that keeps on giving, the sickness that keeps on spreading. So you don't get to marry Katy Perry if you aren't in the club. For him to act like he's not now, no, I can't stand listening to him. I can't. So let me see if there was any other ones that I was thinking about. So yeah, so no to Russell Brand. Cat Williams is still I still love Cat Williams, but I feel like he had to turn his head to certain things in order to make it. All right. I feel like that's really what it comes down to for these people. If you manage somehow to escape being, raped, trafficked, drugged, be addicted to drugs, what else is it that they can do? And the blackmail. There's so many things. There's so many. Murder. Yeah, they can get you to murder someone and then have that on you. But yeah, there was someone else. There was one more celebrity that I was thinking about that I think I wanted to bring up that they went into. Honestly, they went into Michael Jackson and Whitney Houston a lot. Okay, and Macaulay Culkin. Oh, Macaulay Culkin. Oh, I'm pretty sure he was actually born into it. So there is a difference. Okay, there's a difference. Like I said, like with Drake's parents from Drake and Josh, they were not born into it. They did not. They like literally had to find a way to drive a wedge between his dad, who was his protector, because the men are supposed to be the protectors, and they weaken them in order to make sure that the women and the children are not protected. All right, but there's some that are like that, and there's some that are just born into it, but can see how bad and evil it is. And I feel like Macaulay Culkin is that. From the interviews that I listen to, when listening to people's voices is very important. You get a lot from just listening to someone's voice, but also seeing their body language and their mannerisms and stuff. And again, tapping in through the heart. Oh, hold on. I want to see what this. Yeah, yes. Was Cat blacklisted in Hollywood? I know. I don't think he was very much blacklisted, but I definitely think. Well, I mean, he had people steal his jokes and steal his work and claim to be. Here was the thing. I remember now. Click. Okay, here it comes. He was offered money in roles many, many times, but he would read the script, and the script would call for him to be put into a dress and dressed as a female, because they love their inversion. They like to make a man a woman and a woman a man. And Cat Williams said, I can do this script without it. I can help you rewrite it so that I don't have to do that. And they said, oh yeah, sure. And then they took it over to Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is definitely sold out. Kevin Hart. So basically the scripts that they would have given him, he wasn't really blacklisted. He just didn't go along with the program, so he wasn't allowed to get even bigger, I guess you could say. But he did a great role in Friday After Next as Money Mike. Loved Money Mike. That was honestly where I actually saw Cat Williams in person. I saw Cat Williams in person one year when I was pregnant with Sarah. Yeah, I was pregnant with my daughter. And I saw him down at Cobo Hall. I'm pretty sure it was what it was. I was late to the show, but he had lost some steam. I feel like he'd been probably doing quite a bit of shows. So energetically, like you could feel like he was tired. He was doing the jokes great. He was still funny. And I'm pretty sure he was trying to call attention to the fact that Michelle Obama was a man. Like he made some jokes at that, but he had to walk that line. Before I forget real quick, I want to tell you guys that Sloan Bella actually said, I thought this was kind of cool. If anyone likes to play the lottery out there, she said that the planets were lining up for good luck in lottery winnings and stuff like that for April 20th. April 20th and 21st, which I thought was funny because it's 420, right? 420, right? Yeah. All right, that's like warning. Okay, let me see. Is there anything else I wanted to get off my chest before I, yeah, let me see. I'm just going to go back to the beginning of my thing because I think there was something on the side of it I might have written. No, I think I might have gotten through all of it. I don't think. If there's any other celebrities that you want to mention in the chat, we want to tap into them right now, we can. Yeah, Cat's necklace gave it away, was what I heard too. Wait, hold on. Cat's necklace was the overt part of it. Yeah, I heard something weird about his necklace. I heard something that it was like just a very interesting necklace for him to choose, right? My ex said it wasn't. Said it was symbolic for Anunnaki or something like that. That's what he tried to say. I'm like, Was it? I don't know. Jack Black. Yes. Okay, let's tap into Jack Black. Jack Black. Yeah, I really liked that guy for a long time. I think that honestly, I think he was good originally. I don't think he thought it was going to go as bad as it was, but I don't get a Will Ferrell feeling from him. Will Ferrell. Will Ferrell has some demonic energy to him. Jack Black, though, like he definitely got pulled into some shit for sure. But soul wise, I could list other people that feel more darker than him. Jim Carrey, Will Ferrell. But I definitely think he had to do things along the way that he's not proud of and that he probably regrets. But I don't get like the feeling that he's like into adrenochrome or anything like that, which was a big one amongst them. But the fact that he had a band and he had a show, his band name was Tenacious D, and it was basically dedicated to the devil. I think he took it more playfully at the beginning. Okay, like how some people just kind of use it to like give them an edge. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have this Satan sticker on my guitar or something like that. Like just to get like that's not what happened, but to get the feeling of it. Okay. Trying to think of feel anything else about Jack Black. Like they're showing me all the different list of works that he did. Like they're going over King Kong. They're showing me that one. He was really good. He wanted to be kind of a serious actor. There are moments where he wanted to be taken more seriously. The King Kong role was the one where he tried to be more serious, and I quite frankly really really liked him in that. But I'm not getting anything else on him. Just that he's not super dark, or like he's had to do some shit. Okay, at this point, they definitely probably have some blackmail on him, but he's not like the ones that go into it and then enjoy it and then like cheer it on, and and then there's other people that are like try to keep it hidden even though it's clearly visible. So anyway, yeah, Kat Von D, yes. Wait a second, she Christian now, so never mind. She probably got out of it then, huh? Let's see. Yeah, I loved him in King Kong too. I love that movie. I love King Kong. It was beauty that killed the beast. Oh, that was one of the other ones. Oprah. God, sorry. Ugh. Oprah. Her and The Rock going to Hawaii asking us to give money when Oprah alone could have rebuilt that every house that got destroyed with her money and had plenty. This is greed. It's just ridiculous. The Rock, I think The Rock was born into it. I definitely think The Rock was born into it, even though that makes me sad because I really used to like The Rock a lot. But I take that back for a second. I did like him a lot, but then there was this one movie called The Tooth Fairy, which I could feel a part of him, like as he acted and portrayed being this jerk character for a little bit, like he was mean to this kid. You could feel that some part of it was like sincere. You know what I'm saying? You ever just like that's what makes actors good actors is if they can really get into an emotion of something. And the way he portrayed it, like you could just feel it, that it came like too naturally to him. Like he had too much experience with it. And I was just like, oh no, this guy's a douche. This guy's a douche. I'm sorry. Watch The Tooth Fairy. You'll see. Which, God help you if you watch that movie. But yeah, it's not a good movie. But, I've watched a lot of movies in my day. I entertain myself with the movies. Okay. Yeah, Jim Carrey is a piece of work too, man. It's like I feel like he battles with himself though. I get the energy that I get from him is that he's gone back and forth where he like hates himself for it, but then fuck it, I'm already all in. Might as well go all the way balls to the wall, right? And then I feel bad about it. I think he's like given up at this point, but I do think he tried to fight it. Will and Jada. Oh my God. Yes. That was another people that I was checking in on. Okay, Jada. Okay, Jada, she has a really weird energy to her. Just weird, just very like, I don't know, I feel like she a Scorpio or something. I just get this feeling she pulls this mask down, this shield down over top of herself. So it's hard to get a good reading on her. Like, can't really hook in there like I want to. Okay. But Will, he's definitely traumatized. He's definitely like, I feel like he just goes with the flow at this point. I feel like he's the one that's like, she's almost like a handler to him or something, you know, like he has been MK Ultra'd to the point where they just control him at this point. But she's the one that's really has the steering wheel. So I get real mixed. I get a really mixed feeling from him. I feel like he really loved her, like he really was attached to her. But she had that affair with Tupac. Like Tupac could never get out. That's who she really wanted, and Tupac died, and she got with Will Smith. Okay, and Will Smith is no Tupac. You know, yeah, that's a good word for her, Matthew. Toxic. She feels toxic, and I feel like she tries to hide it, and that's the shield that she puts up before me when I try to get my hooks in there. Yeah. Ugh. I don't like her. Yeah. Oh my God. Both their kids emancipated themselves. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know, and that's the other thing about Hollywood is it's just unnatural if you look at the children, okay, and how every single one of them is if they're born a boy, well then now they're wearing tutus and they're like to be a girl. You know, they like the inversion thing. They really try to push the trans stuff on us, and that is another thing that really pisses me off about this planet at this point. Like, come on, why are you doing this to these children? Why? You know, I watch a lot of Blair White on YouTube. I really, really like Blair White. She actually is a trans woman, and I think that she presents the way trans people should be presented. I feel like she holds herself with dignity and grace, and she calls it like she sees it. She doesn't try to sugarcoat it. She doesn't want, these other people coming in and basically tainting the whole LGBTQ. You know what I'm talking about? Like they're taking over the movement and they're making it about pedophiles and stuff like that. They're like, this is how they're grooming us to accept pedophilia. Okay, and she basically calls it like she sees it, and she's like, no, enough of that. Enough of this sickness. Enough of this sickness. You know, but that's why they put it in our face. That's why all the celebrities make sure their kids do that, because it's the inversion. They want that to be inverted. Wow, Jim Carrey's daughter waits tables, so she's out of it then. I wonder if she has any connection to him. The late Nate people. Sorry, but I'm having a hard time reading your comment, Justin. I apologize for totally butchering that. Seth Meyers, yuck, agreed. Seth Meyers, the one who created Family Guy, right? That's the one who created American Dad and Family Guy, which I loved those shows. I used to love those shows. Oh, it's just so heartbreaking. You know? Taylor Swift. Oh my God. Is she a guy? Okay, let me see. Let me tap into Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift has got some heavy witchy demon energy around her at all times. She is definitely like, I mean, you don't get that big without it. But let me see. I don't get the feeling that she's a man. I don't get that sense. I think she is actually a woman. Psychically, I don't get the feeling that she's a man. No. But there are a lot of them out there. That's Seth MacFarlane. Oh, who is Seth Meyers? Was he a guy on SNL or something like that? I'm getting this other picture in my head now of this guy. Okay, there was another one that jumps off of that one too, and it's Seth Green. That's what's coming up. The guy, robot chicken guy, who basically Isaac Cappy talked about. Yeah, talk show host. Okay. Seth Meyers. I'll have to look into that, guys. I'll have to see his face. I'll have to go look up a picture of him to tap into that. We'll tap into that next time. We'll start. Oh, Jimmy Kimmel. Oh, shit. Yes. Oh, God. I hate that guy's energy. I hate that guy's energy. I was just listening to Sloan Bella was talking about some of the things that he was saying. And so I tried to tap into his energy, and I just get this most pompous, arrogant, crybaby bully. Like that was the energy I got off him. Like he kind of reminds me of a Stephen Colbert kind of, but only like not as smart. And like I just get a horrible feeling from him. He's like gone deep. Okay, this is growth. They're saying that like he actually enjoys the rituals they do, the really nasty ones. Like some people just do it because that's part of their religion and this is what they've been taught to do, and it's like, whatever. This guy like takes pleasure in it. I'm like getting shaky as I'm like feeling that come through. I do not like this guy. He kind of also reminds me a little bit of a Will Ferrell, but there's something else about him. Like the enjoyment factor for him. It's nasty. It's dirty. Yucky. Yeah. Hold on. Okay. Wow. All right, guys. Oh, that was fun. Yeah, I enjoy that. We should do this more often where I tap in other people's energies to say what I think, right? I could probably do that with my friends and family here too, right? Give you guys like a greeting or something. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I figured everyone can enjoy a little bit of gossip from time to time. I really wanted to talk about it. It's been on my mind. I've been watching so much of it. That's the other thing I've been doing. I've been I'm like, it's time to wrap it up and let's get going. But let me add one more thing. The other thing I was listening to a lot of is these reactions to or stories about like, am I the asshole stories? And then someone explains what they're going through. And then you have to come to a conclusion, right? And so listening to all these people, like, am I the asshole? This is what happened. A lot of Bridezilla stuff, a lot of boyfriend, girlfriends drama and stuff like that. And I'm just like there are really people out there that are like, have to ask? Like, and then there's some of them where it's like, oh, you're clearly not. I don't even know why you're asking, And so learning about people through this way has been quite eye-opening because like I said, I'm trying to learn as much as I can about how to read people better, how to come to an understanding better. That's the best way I can put it. I hope that's coming out in the right way. Hold on, wait. I want to see what Hope says here. Okay, Taylor is a really scary entity at this point. I might do an etheric portrait of her one day. That would be super cool. I would love to see that. Yes. Yeah, she does have she's not even a human anymore. I think you're right. You know who they said that wasn't a human anymore too? Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein. They said that he was abused to the point where and it was so greedy and very insecure and always wanted that power. That's the other thing, like wanting and desiring power in such ways that will make you go to certain lengths. Like he basically did get completely thrown out of his body, and his spirit wasn't even his body anymore. And it was a demon of some sort, some dark, nasty entity that had taken over his body. And that was how he was able to do all the work that he did. Similar to P. Diddy. I get that very much feeling from P. Diddy too. Very much. And so when these people pass away, like there's the spirit of that person who originally formulated that body and chose to come here to Earth to live a certain path, but then abdicated the role to this entity. Okay, like they basically, it just gets recycled. It just gets shunned to another consciousness. So whatever Jeffrey Epstein was, like it's just in another person now. Now we just, we have to find that next one, right? And end that one. It's like, I don't know how we're going to clean this all up, guys. I don't know how we're going to clean all this up. It's a lot, but it's time. Like I said, when I was preparing for this stream this past couple days and really tapping into all the energies, I just saw the tarot card. I saw this tarot card, the sun card, and it was just like, here's like a calendar of 2024. It was just shining, like, I'm seeing like Sauron, the eye of Sauron, like the hot spot. Like it's going along. So it's coming up, guys. Everything's starting to come up. I'm ready for it. And on that note, oh, my back just cracked. I'm ready to head out. I've been, well, we're almost reaching the two hour mark. So yeah, I'm gonna get going. I absolutely loved hanging out with all of you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for sharing this Easter night with me. Thank all of you who have subscribed to my channel or will subscribe to my channel if you're new watching this later on. I so appreciate you, and I will do my best to keep coming back and look forward to next time. Keep that notification bell on because I am going to go over the second half of the ritual of summoning your holy guardian angel and what all that entails. We're going to go over the demon portion of it next time. So stay tuned and have a great and blessed night. And I hope that you have a wonderful eclipse experience. I hope all the things that you need to heal from in your life, that God walks you through them with smoothness and ease. And I pray that you have all the things that you need in life: happiness, love, connection, money, wealth, health, prosperity, all the good things. This is my prayer for you guys here on Easter. I truly love you all. I love you guys. Take care. And I will see you on the other side.